Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and in this review is on the 2018 sequel, The Equalizer 2. The Equalizer 2 once again stars Denzel Washington and Pedro Pascal. And so, in the second Equalizer, the basic story is basically about this. Like Robert McCall will deliver the justice you seek. Like, first of all, like, I gotta explain the first half there. If you have a problem and there's nowhere else to turn, the mysterious and elusive Robert McCall will deliver the justice you seek. This time, however, McCall's past cuts especially close to home when thugs kill Susan Plummer, his best friend and former colleague. Now, out of revenge, Robert McCall must take on a crew of highly trained assassins who will stop at nothing to destroy him. And of course, like I said, the movie also stars Pedro Pascal, the same guy from The Mandalorian, and of course Joel from The Last of Us. So, after watching the first Equalizer film, I also rented the sequel off of Amazon after watching the first movie, and while there is some decent acting in this film, like Denzel Washington is always a great Robert McCall in the Equalizer films, and Pedro Pascal himself. I mean, I do like Pedro Pascal because I liked him in Mandalorian, and I also liked him in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent as well, and I kind of liked him in Wonder Woman 1984 as well, and oh yeah, and he was decent in Kingsman: The Golden Circle because that was actually one of the earliest times I've known about Pedro Pascal, and Pedro Pascal actually plays the main bad guy in the film, Dave York, and yet his performance I thought was pretty good as well, and like I said, Denzel Washington is always a fun guy to watch around to watch for, like, in terms of drama and action thriller films like this. And I gotta say, like, even the visuals and even the sound design and the sound editing whenever there's like close up shots of Robert, of course, I mean, before he gets ready to fight the bad guys, before he begins to fight. I gotta say, it's actually one of the interesting shots, and one of those interesting shots in action thrillers, in my opinion. And yeah, it's like, and while this movie's like not as good as the first Equalizer, it was still a pretty decent watch. I mean, sure, it's not as good as the first Equalizer, but like I said, that doesn't make it a bad film, because there are some things I liked about Equalizer 2, and it was just a decent enough sequel to, like, the first Equalizer, which, yeah, and plus even the Equalizer 2 was actually released 5 years ago in the summer of 2018, like July 20th of 2018. So yeah, the Equalizer 2 is the sequel to the Equalizer has been around for like 5 years. Oh yeah, and then 5 years later, we're finally getting an Equalizer 3. Yeah. So we'll see how the Equalizer 3 turns out for me, and also, like, stay tuned for my review on Equalizer 3 after I see it tomorrow afternoon with my dad. Yeah, so yeah, this movie was a decent watch, and the action sequences are still entertaining, like its predecessor, and yeah, it's like Harry Gregson Williams' music score is still, like, it's still good, of course. Like, I would just say good. Yeah. Oh yeah, and of course there was also another character introduced in this film, that I think he wasn't in the first Equalizer. Like, his name is, like, Miles Whitaker, and he's played by Ashton Sanders, and I think Ashton Sanders actually did a pretty solid job playing Miles Whitaker, and Bill Pullman was also pretty good in the film too, and Orson Bean as Sam Rubinstein. Because that's, like I said, there is some good acting in this film, like its predecessor, and yeah, and of course some of the action sequences can get a little repetitive and maybe like inferior to its predecessor. And that's one of the things I consider the sequel to be, like, not as good as the first Equalizer, but but still, it was still a pretty decent watch. It was a decent movie. Yeah, so and like I always say, it's hard to believe that that Equalizer 2 has been around for 5 years, and like I said, 5 years later, there's gonna be the Equalizer 3 is officially released today. And yeah, and so oh yeah, plus I almost forgot to mention about the Equalizer. I also didn't know that the Equalizer trilogy is actually based on a TV show. It was actually based on a TV series of the same name, which I never really watched the show. I never really seen the show that like a while ago because back in like a long time ago, I used to watch TV shows all the time like a long time ago. But nowadays I'm more used to watching movies, and nowadays I only watch shows just like occasionally, like a season if I feel like doing so. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So aside from all that, overall, The Equalizer 2 was a decent movie from 2018, and I'm gonna give The Equalizer 2 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you enjoyed the first Equalizer, then I'm sure you'll probably get a kick out of the second one. And if you're interested in checking out the third movie, just like me, then I recommend watching the first two Equalizers first before checking out the third one. Yeah. And like I said, I will be seeing Equalizer 3 tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 at Cinemark with my dad, so stay tuned for my movie review on Equalizer 3. With that being said, thanks for watching as always, and if you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, and make sure to like this video as well. With that being said, until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying goodbye everybody, and that's about it.